This is TWiT.
Rumor Central. Mark Gurman says there will be a high-end M1X Mac Mini, new designs and
I knew it.
Additional ports.
I bought two.
Of course.
Dag nabbit.
And but all he says in the next several months. I don't know how soon that is.
Probably. Here's the best.
October?
The best thing about Mac Minis is they never go. You never stop using them. I have a Mac Mini over here. The one that's sitting under the brand new 16 gig one that I got after Andy showed the thing about the photogrammetry. Not that I'm bitter. Anyway, the one sitting underneath it is from 2012, and it's running some controller software for me right now, and they just never go away. And they have a bunch of I/O in the back. They're easy to the rack mount. They're easy. I don't feel bad about buying them because I'm like, I know I'll use them for the next decade. It's not it's a really odd thing.
Although that was the one thing wrong with the M1 Mac Minis was lack of ports.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of ports.
They got enough ports. As long as you have
I got way more than my iMac.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally with you. I mean, I'm probably the biggest cheapskate on this panel, but if there is a really good M1X Mac Mini coming out in the next few months, I will almost certainly buy it. Even though on my long-range game plan has always been, I'm waiting for a super powerful like mini Mac Pro, something that is like really, really high-end, powerful for a lot of stuff I want to do. But just as you say, it's like there will always be a place. It's like occasional situational lighting. It's like this desk lamp. When I'm done with it, I will find another place for it. I can always use lighting elsewhere in the house. So just I will buy the M1X. The M1X will become like my podcasting streaming computer. When I get the Mac, hopefully the mini Mac Pro, like in 2022, 2023, that will become like the M1X will probably become like my my Plex server, my media server, or it'll just become something that lives underneath a spare machine. It is the sleeper Mac of the entire lineup. It is the one thing that it will never really date. It will never become useless. It will never be moldering on the tree. It will never be repurposed as a hot plate or as a knickknack for the shelf, because you can always do something with it.
I think a lot of us were very worried that they weren't going to update it. It wasn't going to get any better. Like it sat there for a long time, and now, it's really become an exciting product again.
Yeah, I loved a couple of years. Was it 3 years ago at the Brooklyn Opera House, where this was they still didn't have like a new Mac Pro to show off, so they really just rolled out, here is your Pro workstation, a stack of Mac Minis that are maxed out, that are but they made such a compelling argument that it's very, very tidy. It's something that you can redeploy. Again, it's like if you buy 10 for your computer, 10 for your office, you can just deploy them where they need to go without having to think about whether or not does this person need a 24-inch screen, does this person need 80 cores and a tower. Anyway, it is my favorite like Mac of the entire lineup, and it's the one that I would love to put more money into.
And literally, I have an iMac right now in front of me. That's my older iMac, and I'm replacing it with the 16 gig M1 that Andy got me to buy. Anyway, but I'm going to have two screens that I'm going to have on either side here. And what's great about it is I'll have those screens, and now I can kind of route whatever I want. The iMac will still be available, but it's not. But I'm able to replace it, and I have just so much more flexibility. I mean, someone was asking me whether I was going to get the iMac or the Mac Mini, and at this point, I'm just getting Mac Minis because the iMac is cool, but I'd rather have all the flexibility and more I/O and more compatibility and being able to rack them and everything else. It's just an amazing little product.
Yeah. Is there the M1 has a little bit of an issue with multiple monitors? Like you have to kind of play some games to get two monitors. Is that right?
It's not two. I think it's I can't remember whether it's three or more, but it's two. Two is fine.
The M1 supports two displays. If you've got like a MacBook Pro, one of them is the internal display. The second one is the external display.
It's for the laptops. So that's an issue. That's right. Okay. So
but putting a third one, right?
Yeah,
so putting any sort of a third display.
But presumably an M1X would solve that. I would hope.
Yeah.
And there's some breakouts that can get you up to 6.
Okay.
Outputs from the Mac Mini. Yeah, they're like little HDMI breakouts that can be used for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm suddenly trying to remember if here's how bad my memory is today. I can't remember what's the name of that really great feature they demoed for the next version of Mac OS that lets you just simply put an iPad screen next to your iMac screen, and your mouse pointer simply moves from one display to the other and turns into a different controller. I don't know what the name of the.
Renee knows the name of that.
It's universal control, and the way it's currently implemented is you can have a Mac control up to 2 other iPads or Macs. So Andy could have his one Mac and then 2 other Macs, one Mac and an iPad and a Mac, one Mac and 2 iPads, and then you just control them all with that Mac's keyboard.
And you can drag around files.
Yeah.
I love that. I can't wait. That's going to be
you
so
can
cool.
even make permanent setup. So like if that's all you want to do, Andy, you can have that set up in settings, so you don't have to do that little I'm dragging the cursor along, wait for a second for it to break the membrane and go in. You can just say remember this layout and switch to it when I want it to.
Yeah, that's really nice.
No, that is such an ideal situation for a lot of like what I do. Like oftentimes I'm doing like a really big like video transcode, and it would be great if I have like my video transcoding tools just in a window that's in my setup. I have no idea, no particular awareness that this app happens to be running on its own dedicated machine. And I just, by virtue of the fact that I moved the mouse pointer into there and press this go button, it all worked. But I want to be able to put a raw potato on the middle of my desk, and it just like slowly cooks because of all the screens I've got like pivoted. That's what I want. That's the dream. That's the aspiration.
All right.